One being that I want to say everything properly. That we bring a lot of cultural issues into the equation, and then we question Islam about it, right? And that's really messed up. It's just like saying we bring in all these, any issues into an equation, and we question any other entity about it. That's just not fair. Okay? I know Islam is the way of life, so it may seem like you should bring and question it. However, and Islam doesn't say don't question. In fact, Islam is, I found Islam to be a like a rare religion where they say, yes, question it. Allah says, forget the people. Allah says, reflect, think. What are you doing when you're reflecting? You're not absorbing. Allah doesn't say absorb this information. No, He says reflect. Reflect means you're going to be thinking about it. You'll be questioning things. You'll be pondering upon it. Some things will be unsettling, and then you might like do a deep dive into it, right? So like Allah tells us to reflect. So it's good to do that. No one says don't question your religion and don't do that or don't do anything else. Yeah, question it. But there's a Western culture these days that question things for the sake of questioning it. So it's like, why is there a God? Why do we need a God? Why is that tree there? Why do I need that tree there? Why does it have green leaves? Why doesn't it have pink leaves? Why is the sky blue? Why are there clouds there? Why can't we have gumdrops up there instead of the sky? I mean, Allah can, God can, so why not? Like, these are not intellectual questions. They're just questions for the sake of questioning it. But the Western culture has promoted that for the sake of, critical thinking. But this is not critical thinking. There should be meaning to things. There should be a direction where a person is going. We don't just say, oh, you flower, why are you so tiny? Why are there weeds with you? Why are you here and not up on the tree? And then say, it doesn't make sense. You walk away. That's very convenient. To me, that seems very much like an atheistic viewpoint. Maybe the foundation was being laid for that years back while we were teaching everybody that, we need to do some critical thinking. Critical thinking is really good. It's really good. But thinking is also part of it. So think, what do you want to achieve out of those questions? Do you want to have knowledge? Do you want to have better understanding? Do you want to be a more wholesome person? Do you want to have spiritual, information growth? Or do you want to just criticize for the sake of criticism and just let it be? So that is there. And so, it's good to do that, but don't bash Islam about it, especially linking it to the cultural baggage. That is just an oppression. While we say we don't like oppression, we don't want men to oppress us, and then suddenly a female comes along and oppresses the whole deen. It's just not right. Two wrongs don't make a right. They never will. And that's how I see it. And that's how I felt. I'm also South Asian. My family is very different. They do still have cultural baggage. There is a lot of cultural baggage, and I try to fight that off. And you know what helps me fight it off? My deen, Islam, what Allah says. Because what they say sometimes, or what they push upon others, it's wrong, it's oppressive, it's not correct. And so I have the hadith, I have Islam, I have what Allah says. If anything, Islam has not oppressed women. In fact, the feminist movement oppresses women. It tells me you need to feel this way and you need to question this, right? Islam says you'll be tested. Bring your humility with you when you come in for those tests into the test center, right? So it explains things, why stuff is hard sometimes, why things are not equal sometimes, and so that, for me, that's Islam is my strength. It gives me strength. And another thing I wanted to add was that cultural baggage, a lot of the things that the sister mentioned was what, the Desi cultures do. They try to do. They force you to marry so-and-so. It's just a lot of stuff, right? And they do have a reason for it. The elders may not be able to explain it. There's a generational reason for certain things. And now I'm not saying everything is good. There's plenty that's terribly wrong. That's like cultural baggage. It carries garbage inside. So, of course, it's not right. But then there are things that are okay. They're more protective of the females. Well, I think they should be more protective of the boys as well. But, they let the boys handle more because they feel like they, it's like the animal kingdom. If you watch National Geographic and things like that, you see that anyone who's seen as vulnerable gets preyed on first, right? So even if people may not know that you have a black belt in karate, but they might psychologically see you as vulnerable and, just try to come at you, right? Whereas psychologically, a guy may not have the black belt in karate, may not have any core muscle strength, but still people may not psychologically see him as a vulnerable. So, when they send their daughters out with their son, there are reasons for these things.